This shit bangs to this day. What a song. We are here post Richmond. It was a good race. Chris Buescher picks up the win, the third win of his career in NASCAR. Won one last year at Bristol and one back in 2016 at Pocono, but definitely probably the strongest performance for Chris Buescher. And wait, what?
Mike, you're losing it, bub.
No, what is it?
He already high.
Do you hear that?
Oh, I forgot.
Are you kidding me? Matt is back, and it's time for two dudes.
How did I forget?
Oh, yeah. All right. So our first dude is the man from a town of 30,000 people, Mr. Christopher Buescher.
Yeah.
It was 40,000.
40,000,
30.
It was 30.
It was 30.
30,
Oh, I thought
40,
you said
however many. Rick Allen with the quote of the year.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher led 88 laps. Pretty solid. So, and he's a winner. He definitely gets one. And then for my second dude, I'm going to go with Eric Almirola. He finished eighth, but really it was a strong day for SHR as a whole. You had Priest finishing fifth. You had Almirola finishing eighth. And then Harvick and Briscoe were 10th and 11th. So I'd go with Christopher Buescher and Eric Almirola, but I'm also going to throw in an honorable mention for the Xfinity race. We had Sam Mayer pick up his first career win. That last lap was an absolute banger.
Crazy.
You had three guys swapping in and out, and then Sam Mayer was just the last guy to
Not wreck himself.
Yeah, so basically the last guy to not wreck himself out of the three that were up there. But so it was a good weekend. Saturday's Xfinity race was fun. Last night's race was good towards the end. It was kind of boring in like the beginning and the middle, in my opinion. But there we have it.
All right, thank you, Matt, and welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been a few months since we've had two dudes.
Yeah.
We have usually 4 or 5 dudes, but not the two dudes that we're looking for. Matty's two dudes segment is back. And, Richmond, you said it was boring. I thought it was kind of a breath of fresh air.
I like races that have some strategy in it. We do need 1 or 2 of those a year because Richmond's about the only one that'll give it to you.
Yeah, it was kind of. I just said it was like boring from the fact that like you didn't have like much you had a decent amount of side by side racing, but nothing crazy. What I did like is that you actually saw the tires matter. Like the tires actually wore, which is something that you really don't see, that we really haven't seen consistently with the next gen car. So that was something that was a breath of fresh air for sure. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and Richmond's basically been like that since the next gen car.
Yeah.
I actually think the next gen car, while it's been a negative on short tracks, has actually been better at Richmond. I've thought, because the spring race was awesome, and this one was pretty good too. It was, I tweeted this out. If you told me like 3 years ago that the top 4 cars would be Roush with Brad Keselowski as a part owner and a team owned by Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, that would be the top 4 cars, I would think you are nuts on pure speed. That was the stage finish for stage 2. It was Keselowski, Buescher, I think.
A team
Wallace,
owned by Denny Hamlin that he doesn't race for.
Yes. Yeah. Which was not legal, and they just let him
at
do
the
it.
time. Yeah.
I don't know if it is now, but they just said sure.
Yeah,
They're not going to turn down Michael Jordan.
They have another.
I think that changed with this charter system, didn't it?
No,
I think it was always legal.
No, I was pretty sure that it wasn't. You weren't allowed to do that.
No, because that's how Earnhardt did it.
No, yeah, but this is after. This is during when Roush had 5 teams and they made him cut back to 4. And they made the rule then that you cannot own a team if you were on a team that was maxed out at 4. So he could have owned a team if his team he drove for only had 3 cars. He could have had 1 car that he could have owned somewhere else. I think NASCAR just kind of I think that rule kind of quietly.
And they said they're not and they're not going to say no to Michael Jordan.
And honestly, they shouldn't. I think it's good for the sport to have.
Absolutely.
I mean, more seats is always better.
And I think it's good for Toyota because now Toyota's going to have. They've been the strongest manufacturer, kind of back and forth with Chevy for the last 10 years. Because Ford has been good in stretches, but they really haven't had the dominance that Chevy or Toyota have had.
Ford has mostly been dominated by,
Kevin
you could
Harvick,
say
Joey
Harvick, Logano, and maybe Brad, over the
Yeah.
last 10 years. It's just like those three.
Yeah. And with Toyota, I think it's going to be really interesting to see next year what they do. They're going to have, I think, 9 or 8 cars in their 8 competitive cars kind of in their group with Legacy Motor Club adding themselves to it. Let's go around and hear our thoughts on the race. We'll go in order. Sal, what do you think about Richmond?
I thought it was good for the simple fact that strategy seemed to matter so much. Like, you kind of kept you like who was going to try to run it long, who was going to try to just basically split the stages. Yeah, that's I had to watch it on low volume. I was at a birthday party, so I couldn't really hear anything. But it was fun to see the strategy, and it's always nice when a Texas guy gets the win
from a town of 30,000. Ryan, what do you think?
I thought it was a pretty good race overall. One, it was nice to see Buescher get one. He was definitely fast last year in the second race at Richmond, and then that speed showed itself again at the second race this year at Richmond. And I think you got to see strategy play out, which was finally something that we needed to see. Tires were a factor and it made Denny, where Denny used to went long last year, and I believe he tried it this year too in the first race. This year, the second race, he really couldn't do that because you could see the tires start to go out on him, and him and Gabehart worried that if he stayed out longer, he'd be much further back, and that it would hurt his chances to win. And the ones that had to pull the long strategy were either further back, like Truex when he pulled it, or just cars that weren't there and they were trying to steal track position to see if that could help them a little bit. So to see that strategy play out was very nice.
I'm going to add one thing to your statement, Ryan. If Truex wasn't utterly dog shit
in his first run, stage, I don't think he would have gone off strategy.
Because I think he was up there with the RFK guys, 2311 and Almirola on pure speed.
Could you imagine if he didn't start off so terribly in the first stage? All you see is Truex. It'd be another boring race, honestly, guys. Let's be honest. Right. Because Truex doesn't win exciting races. I
think you could say the same thing for Almirola as well.
I said Almirola.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of lumped him in with RFK and 2311 and Truex.
And don't forget, Priest was really fast.
Priest was good. Yeah. So yeah, that was. We'll talk more about Priest in a little bit. Matt, we heard some of your thoughts, but is there anything you'd like to add about Richmond?
Yeah, it was fun seeing the strategy. I thought Denny was going to try to split it in one stop, but he wasn't able to. It was interesting to see Truex, like how long he stayed out on his tires, and he actually didn't lose much. He lost a lot of time, but he didn't lose many positions because everyone was like so spaced out. And it was really just dominated by two teams. Like, I just did the math a little bit. The team of Buescher and Keselowski, and then Reddick and Wallace led 350 out of the 400 laps, which is wild. Just those 4 guys by themselves. So that was pretty crazy. The Chevys just looked dead. They looked bad.
Outside of like Kyle Busch. I mean, yeah.
Kyle Busch. That's because he came back there at the end. It wasn't looking too hot either.
And now we're going to a place where where it's mostly just like a Ford dominant track. So it'll be interesting to see if the Chevys can respond, because that was just a bad performance. But
now the Chevys have always been good at Michigan, but for some reason the Fords just always finish better there. Yeah.
But the most wild thing to me from that race was just that you had 2 teams just lead 350 out of 400 laps, and they were just 2-person teams. It wasn't like
it wasn't like it was one guy from each team dominating. Like Bubba Wallace led a good amount of laps. Reddick led a good amount of laps. Keselowski won the stage.
Yeah, Buescher led 88 and Keselowski led 80, and then Bubba led 81 and Reddick led 80. So it was almost perfectly even between all four. But yeah, it's just crazy to see two-person teams lead 350 out of a 400-lap race.
Yeah. Tegan, what do you think?
You know me. I like a good damn tire race.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying all damn year. I do think that it was a little too hot. I think the track temperature being the high as it was kind of made tire wear more extreme to where it made it more even. I think if you took about 10 or 20 degrees off that track, it would have been a whole lot better race. That's why people are probably bitching about it. I'm agree with Brad. You got to have some of these races mixed in with what you've got to show some elite talent. So who can save tires and who can't. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't like falling asleep during the race. I was pretty much glued to it. You know, some of the crew chiefs made bonehead calls. So trying to, I don't understand. Like, you know, you take Alex Bowman's crew chief. That was a bogus call. Michael McDowell.
That's my bonehead.
Where's the Alex Bowman fan at?
We don't have one.
Well, there's 3 of them somewhere. They're all on one team. No, I'm just kidding.
No, the Alex Bowman fan. He knows what I'm talking about. There you go. Sal's got it.
No.
Matt over there. Yeah.
What? Matt?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What would happen if he had his old crew chief? Matt.
Oh. Yeah, we had it was like we had Greg Ives on that race. Blake Harris was just so damn stupid.
That's what I was trying to get.
Oh, God.
But I enjoyed the race. I mean, I like every once in a while a race that has some strategy and some tire wear.
Kept me interested.
I'm waiting on somebody. One Richmond race, they're going to try to make it on one stop, and they're going to make it work. They're going to figure it out. They're going to make their tires up. I mean, fucking Truex almost did it.
If the 19 had better track position, he probably was going to be able to.
He could have done it,
because he did not fall off.
I think he could have fell off. Yeah,
in the run. He had something where he was just not falling off as bad as everybody else.
He wasn't wearing his tires.
Yeah, Wessel, what are your thoughts?
I thought the race was pretty entertaining. I only got to catch the last half of it because I was at work. But it was seeing the tire strategy work out was pretty well. I mean, I was listening to like MRN while I was at work, kind of getting the gauge of it. So I heard
do a
about
great job.
They really do. Yeah. Of like painting a picture that you can't see, you know.
And it's really tough.
You know, listen to them talk about how Truex was falling off really bad, and then I get home and he's kind of like he's on a different strategy. He's charging back through the field, and it was kind of cool to see that going on.
Yeah, we had Larson go back at Hamlin this week, give him a little shot out of the way. I enjoyed that. We had some spicy teammate action between Bowman and Larson there for the free pass at the end of
NBC loved it too. Rick Allen loved that shit.
Rick Allen loves anything. Random population facts and teammate battles for the free pass. Nothing butters his bread more than those two things. That was
to be fair, Alex Bowman is on the cutoff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is a battle for the lead pass.
Yeah. And I think Bowman ended up getting lapped again. So did he?
I don't think he did.
I know Larson ended up going.
I don't think he finished lead lap.
He didn't finish lead lap, but I think he only went a lap down. So yeah, he got the free pass and he went back a lap down. The only one that was on the lap was Chase Elliott.
Yeah. So that was Chase. It was a good day for him considering points.
His crew chief wasn't too broad either.
No.
Pit call.
God damn, they love.
You could not afford to leave your car out there for too long because they couldn't catch back up.
No,
it ain't like the first Richmond race. That's where I think the heat comes into the play here. You had to be on fresh tires first. You couldn't wait till the last because you watched Denny Hamlin. He tried it, and he couldn't. He only actually came out even and started losing time to the drivers ahead of him on older tires. It just wasn't working like it did in the spring.
Yeah, and like him being left out as long as he was in a couple instances really didn't make sense considering like how bad the car was, how much he was losing. You'd think you want to get him in and get an adjustment on the car or something to fix it instead of keeping him out on a run that was catastrophic for them. But they did that more than once, which didn't make much sense. But for, looked like he had more speed than we'd seen. Didn't turn out that way. But still a pretty good day for Chase Elliott if you're looking at the points battle. Because it looked like it was getting more and more challenging, but now we're back to he only needs 10 points a race.
I mean, that's what it has been for the last few weeks, though, right?
No, it was like that a couple weeks ago, and then it became a little bit more challenging than that.
And that Atlanta and New Hampshire stretch, it looked like he was going to have to win.
Yeah. Because he wasn't gaining.
You were talking about his points, right?
Yeah, he's 40
I still think he can point his way in.
Definitely 4 races to go. The tough thing is 2 road courses, which you would think would favor him. But
it also favors Michael McDowell,
who's it's going to go to Michael McDowell,
Yeah, that's my.
I think Suarez is probably going to have to win.
That's
the person who's going to struggle, I think, in this stretch, who seems like he might be good on points now with like a 53-point buffer.
Bubba.
But Bubba is not good at road courses.
So. Yeah, if there's not a new winner, then it could come down pretty close. He could fall back to the cut line pretty quickly in those 2 races.
But then
I would think that Reddick would work with him.
We don't know what'll happen there.
Yeah, it looks like he was better at Coda this year, I thought. Just working.
It's really interesting when you look at the bubble because you got McDowell who's 18 above it, and then
let me get that up real quick.
And then you have
take a look at it.
And then you have Ty, AJ, Suarez, and Chase. And I'll wait till you get it up for me to say my point here.
Bubba could really use a win at Michigan just to avoid everything.
But we got 4 races left, correct? And you've got
and
you got 2 road courses.
Watkins, Glen, you got Daytona.
2 road courses, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who are all really good at road courses. So this could be it's setting up to be quite the showdown here late in the year. Because if you're telling me that McDowell, Gibbs, AJ, Suarez, and Chase win 2 of the road courses, it's one of those 5 guys. I'm saying, okay, that's a very plausible thing. And then Bubba's good on he's normally good on super speedway. He just has shit luck. So this could really be a wacky finish here.
Could Bubba come back to the cut line with these races, you guys think?
I don't know, because I think he's good enough at Michigan that I think he will probably give a little more cushion.
Well.
Yeah, I think he'll do well and give himself a little more cushion.
My spoiler.
Daytona is one you got to worry about.
I do think Bubba wins this week at Michigan, so I think he's locked in. But yeah, I think he's good enough at Michigan to where he can probably I think by the end of this week he'll have I say he'll probably go up to 65 points safe, somewhere around there. I think he'll gain it a little bit, and at that point, losing 65 points in 3 races is kind of extreme. But you could definitely have 3 other winners as well. So
so let's characterize each of these guys kind of in where they're at. Kevin Harvick, seemingly safe, I think.
If he's over 200 after this weekend, I think he's locked in.
Yeah.
The only thing that could really hurt him is, considering the tracks we have, 3 new winners is plausible. I wouldn't be surprised if you see, let's say, AJ Allmendinger win the Indy Road Course. And then you see Chase Elliott win at Watkins Glen. And then any of these fuckers can win Daytona. So
anybody can win it.
So, it is going to get interesting here. Brad Keselowski, who is 151 above the cut line, I would be a little bit worried right now if I was him. Just for the fact of considering this isn't 3 tracks or 3 out of the 4, where you could see it being kind of guys like Truex, Byron, Hamlin, who have won multiple races this year. Those are tracks they can win at. Not saying they aren't tracks they can win at, but you got to look at it I would be nervous because if you told me that Allmendinger wins Indy, Elliott wins Watkins Glen, and let's say Justin Haley wins Daytona, would that surprise anybody?
No.
So, I mean, that's where I'm at right now. I think that Harvick, if he can gain on Brad coming out of Michigan, I think he's 100% safe. And of course, there's not a new winner. I think
he could be the new.
Harvick could be the new winner. Yeah,
Michigan is a track of his.
I think Brad could be the new winner too, considering the type of tracks they've had speed at. I think Harvick, Keselowski, and Bubba are 3 guys that I could definitely see winning this week.
Oh yeah.
I don't see somebody below the cut line winning. Maybe Suarez, considering I think he was pretty good there last year.
But that team is
awesome.
Not just him; it's the whole team. Yeah, they're not there. They're not. They don't have it this year.
So let's look at these guys. So these guys are in on points. If you're Kevin Harvick, what do we say?
Can we just for a second? I know he won the Daytona 500, so he's locked in. But Ricky Stenhouse being like up there in points like that is a huge W for JTG this year.
Yeah, Ricky.
But is he though?
Yeah,
he is.
Okay,
this is based on points. This isn't on wins. Yeah,
he'd be in comfortably right now, which is pretty wild.
Solid season.
But if you're Kevin Harvick, wouldn't be worried. If you're Brad, I wouldn't be totally worried, but I'd be a little bit hesitant of being like, I could be out.
Yeah, I think with Brad, this week's the tall tale sign. Like if it's a new winner, I'd be
worried.
I'd be worried. But if it's somebody who's already won, then I wouldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't be too worried. The new winner could be Harvick, and he might not be that worried.
Yeah.
But if it's any other new winner, I'm kind of freaking out just because of how good everybody else is below me on road courses, and then you have that wild card in Daytona.
Can we just mention the fact of how good RFK has been this year?
Yeah, 11th and 13th in the points. That's really good.
With a win too to boot.
And same exact stats basically: 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s. Buescher has that win that could have easily been Keselowski's if he didn't have that error on pit entering his box.
I think his car was starting to fall off.
I think his car fell off though.
Yeah,
I don't think his car won.
You could see it near the end of the race that his car was kind of gone, where Buescher was still strong.
Yeah. Do we really think any of the guys below the cut line can win Michigan? Because I'm really kind of not there.
Maybe Ty Gibbs.
You might see.
Depends if Eric or Ryan Preece because of the way they ran.
Yeah, I was just going to say Ryan Preece just because you have how they just did last week. So for that matter, you have to throw kind of Almirola in there as well. But
and do you like if Chase Elliott or Alex Bowman win, they haven't showed the speed that they've needed to. But I don't think anybody would be surprised if either of them win next week.
No.
So
maybe not Chase.
That's a former Cup champion. Bowman's won enough races in the Cup Series now to have me at the point where I'm like not shocked when he wins.
I wouldn't say
a little bit surprised, but Bowman I wouldn't be.
I would be shocked at least Michigan if he won. That's just that Chase has had some.
He ran well there last year.
Chase has had some success at Michigan. However, Bowman's like hit or miss. So that's why I say I'm not like I would be surprised if Bowman won at Michigan. I'm not saying like he won.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
No, go ahead.
Chase's success at Michigan is a bit weird because the first 2 years of his career, you thought that's where he's going to get his first win. And then since then, he has not been as good. So that's a track where a lot of fans, including me, thought that'd be one that he could have his first win at whenever he was looking for that and hasn't gotten one there. So it'll be interesting to see.
Bowman I just want to say Bowman at Michigan in 13 races, his average finish is 23.
Yeah. So, I don't think he wins it.
And
I thought he did well last year, though.
He finished 9th last year, which isn't bad. But he's also had 2 DNFs. So if he wins, it's going to
be a shocker.
It would kind of be a shocker. He had a good stage 2 last year. So yeah, he ended the race pretty well because stage 2, he was in 8th and then he finished.
I remember stage 2 though last year was during a pit. Like a lot of them pitted and a lot of them didn't.
Yeah,
to get ahead on the last stage.
That's true because Suarez was finished stage 2 in 2nd and he finished 25th and he didn't get in an accident or anything.
Well, Suarez
he was in an accident that caused the caution to help Harvick win.
That's right.
So he was actually fighting for the lead with Suarez and Bell, and they all three got fucked themselves in one caution. So
Suarez and Bell, yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about Xfinity. Woo-wee. What a bagger finish we had there. Sam Mayer gets his first career win, as Matt mentioned in his honorable mention for 2 dudes. What do we think about that? That's kind of the shot in the arm that he needs, I think, considering that we talked last week, I think, about him not really performing where he needed to be. What are our thoughts on that finish?
He's become a low-key road course driver, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he did really good at Portland, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I think this is exactly what we talked about last week. He got that monkey off his back. I mean, he said himself in the interview. And I think, it's someone I would not be surprised. I don't think he's going to go knock out, 3 wins in a row. But I think, now you start seeing that consistency at least where, this kid can really be a threat at any track.
Was he in the playoffs on points before this win?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
He was safe, I thought.
I think so.
I think he was one of the first ones without a win to be in.
Ryan, what were you trying to say?
I mean, it's nice to see Sam Mayer get his first win. That's definitely going to be you probably will see his consistency kind of come into play now since he's got that first one off his back. Another thing too is it doesn't surprise me that it comes from a road course because not only has he been solid at road courses this year, Junior Motorsports has been somewhat solid this year at road courses, especially if you look at how Portland finished out. I believe Justin Allgaier finished second, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So the JRM has been very solid at road courses, I would say. So
let's be honest. Have they really got competition on road courses with Allmendinger not full time?
Coster.
And I don't think that team has it right now on road courses either. They had brake issues in 2 cars. One of them literally failed.
Chandler Smith probably saved an injury for somebody else because he was going to.
AJ literally didn't have brakes from the get go. They had to keep his car running on pit road because they were also afraid he was going to lose
power.
So they literally kept his car running during the pit stops. So I kind of predicted it last week. I didn't think he was going to win that road course.
He did.
I think he was just too sure of himself. That whole team it was.
It made it even funnier considering they didn't qualify the car.
Yeah.
And they ran like shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he finished 3 laps down. And if he didn't, he would have because he probably took the wave round on that one caution we had.
Both of them were not good. The 31 and the 16.
Haley wasn't good either.
Which I don't really think this is a track that they're worried about, though. Not really a track like it in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you can't give up those points. That 20 minutes practice might have been the difference in 10 points. 10 positions on the racetrack.
I would ever going to make it on points.
I think Colleague at least is right now circling the hell out of the Indy road course for Allmendinger at least.
Absolutely.
Haley's a good underrated, I think, road course racer. But I think he really shines at he's gonna be shining at Daytona.
Yeah, and I think Allmendinger's definitely by far the best road course racer at Colleague, but I mean, you got to give him the best shot at Indy. He's won there before in the Cup Series. I think did he win the first race of the Indy road course? So you got to.
Was it him?
It was him. That's where Hamlin and Briscoe had it there.
Yeah, Hamlin and
Briscoe. I was talking about Xfinity, but yeah, he won the first
Xfinity was Briscoe, I believe. Cup Series, though, was Allmendinger. Yeah. So
also Colleague's first Cup Series win, too.
Yeah,
only Cup Series win to this point.
Only Cup Series, because Haley's Cup win came during rain shortened race.
Fire. Yeah.
Yep. And Kurt Busch was very not pleased about that.
Which means he can say he got one leg up on.
I mean, come on now.
Corey LaJoy.
I have a hot take
about the Xfinity race.
Justin Haley.
Oh, okay. I do want to just tag onto the Xfinity thing here. Sam Mayer has had I know everybody's kind of paying attention to it now because of the win, but he's had 20 races this year, as has everybody else, and he has 12 top 10s. And three of his 20 starts have been DNFs. So that right there is 15 races.
I think the issue that people were having with Sam Mayer, which includes Dale Jr., is that he would be in contention for the win, and he found ways to take himself out.
That's
or
all
even his teammate.
I feel like that's been all of JRM this year, though.
They've all got a ego.
I mean,
issue,
hell,
maybe.
Allgaier did it this weekend.
He took himself out, though.
Yeah.
He fucked up to get past, and he tried to make up for it, and he literally spun himself out. He literally pissed that one away. So I thought it was funny. All I cared about is Kligerman didn't win. Because I am so sick of the bad luck that Riley Herbst has had these last couple of weeks with NASCAR fucking him, and he finally gets a nice top 5 out of it. And all I could think was, he's going to get 5th, and Kligerman's going to win this bitch, and it ain't even going to matter. He's going to get knocked out. And I'm like, I'm so over this shit. He has worse luck than Harvick has had this year. So it was nice. That's one of my pet peeves about this race. NASCAR didn't call the cautions quick enough. I mean, literally twice during that race, somebody put foot on the track, and it took them 30 seconds to call the fucking yellow when you could see it on the damn camera.
One was
Mozak
so
is a
bad.
fucking idiot.
He did kind of blow up though after they went green. He wasn't putting oil on the track when he was smoking. I kind of see that. You kind of want to give them a chance to finish the race because sometimes they just smoke. Yeah, he fucking blew that son of a bitch up. And another pet peeve I have about Xfinity on road courses is I think it's time to get away from the non-competitive pit stops. If you get stuck in the back, you cannot come back. You don't have to. You tell the fuckers to either spend money or they can sit their ass at home if they can't get damn pit crew out there. It don't take that much to fly them out there. You can't tell me that fucking Rick Hendrick can't find, or somebody, Stuart Hall, somebody, these teams that work with these cup crews can't spend $200-something for a round ticket trip for a fucking pit crew. I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, but what about the truck race that same night? Are we gonna have no people there for that? They're gonna be flying back from Road America, and like, good luck if.
Well, then NASCAR needs to do a better job of sorting these races out on the schedule. And just when you get fucked, you can't make it up. You're not coming back because you can't pit under green to take fuel. You can only take fuel on competition cautions and stage breaks. You can take tires, but you cannot take fuel, and that is the whole point of trying to short pit. And then another thing that kind of ticked me off was that last run, which we had cautions anyway, was only 10 laps. I mean, come on. 10 laps for a final stage for even an Xfinity race is kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
but they knew what they were getting into because it was going to be a caution field, and they wanted to guarantee they can make it on fuel without having to pit again.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like – they're changing these races to save money for teams that has it. I don't care what they fucking say about they're not making no money. They are making money. They can afford to fucking send pit crews out there to fucking do live pit stops.
So I kind of don't mind that idea because it does take the whole strategy thing out of it. Like Tegan's saying, just because you can't make up spots or lose spots on pit road. But I'd almost suggest too, if they don't want to do that, that they make it to where you still get the stage points, but you just continuously stay green to see if people will run a few laps later in pit or if they'll pit earlier before it. But it does kind of make it kind of just like a whole follow the leader type thing because you're stuck. You can't really gain spots anywhere because you're not allowed.
There's no strategy. You can't pit and then hope for a caution 2 laps later, and you won't pass anybody.
It's definitely an interesting take for sure.
Let's circle back to my hot take that I had so I don't forget it. Talking about Justin Haley.
I thought it was
he's going to win next year the Daytona 500 for Rick Ware Racing.
Okay, I think you might be jumping the gun a little bit. So let's bookmark this and remember.
Doing you a little too much right there. I think you. Are you
where? Okay, so he's going to be in the 51, right? Where is that 51 at in points right now?
Not great, but has been running better the last few weeks.
Do you think they swap it? Or they can't swap it out with 15 because 15 probably ain't no higher.
No, I will say I think Justin Haley can maybe will that car to. It'll be close, but maybe top 25 points finish. Like maybe.
Well, did you put a comment on there? I couldn't see it.
But there's no chance.
It didn't pop up on mine.
No, he took an edible.
I think he's eating more over there. I keep seeing him going.
No, I'm having rice. I got Spanish rice.
Spanish rice.
Can we get a sponsorship, Mike?
Rice, guys, rice.
Yeah, I hope so.
Can we get a sponsorship, Mike?
It's laced. It's laced.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Spanish Rice. Enjoy. But yeah, Xfinity finish was good. A lot of people taking the lead and then losing it again, which I thought was fun. Clearman, all guy, or Sage Karam, who had a really good run in the Sam Hunt car.
Who also took himself out.
He did. But yeah, it was a fun race. And now it's time for one of my favorite parts of this show. Tegan gets all fired up.
I already gave it.
Yeah, but you can give it again in a segment setting, okay?
Okay.
It's time for Tegan's Boneheads. Let me get the graphic up. Oh, wrong one.
Like my shit's lagging behind, so I can't tell. Am I good to go now? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've got 2 boneheads. I've already mentioned them, and I'm going to throw a third one in there just because he's a fucking bonehead. The crew chief for Daniel Suarez was a bonehead. He had a decent enough car to stay in the lead lap and tried to make it on one last stop to save fucking tires. When you probably already knew they wasn't going to be no damn cautions anyway. So you had plenty of fucking tires. I'm pretty sure these teams finished with 2 or 3 extra sets. Second bonehead was Alex Bowman. Oh, no, Alex Bowman. Yeah, Alex Bowman's crew chief done the same damn thing, hoping for a miracle. It wasn't going to work. He was worse off than others. Daniel Suarez's crew chief is another bonehead who tried it. He was worse off than Bowman. He went a lap down before he even pitted. So I'm going to throw in the fourth one. Noah Gregson ruined a caution-free race, spinning out a car, said Suarez, who was 3 laps down. Like, what was that motherfucker doing? Was he fucking blinking? Was he fucking throwing up in his lap? I don't know. But you take a fucking caution-filled race and you throw out a caution to spin out a drive that's 3 laps down. So, 4 boneheads. I added 2 in there.
Yeah. Thank you, Tegan.
I've noticed we haven't heard any stories about him throwing up in cars this year. Is that not a problem anymore?
I think over the off season he was supposed to get surgery.
Yeah,
it was a hole in his stomach.
Surgery?
I think he had a hole in his stomach. Is what they.
I feel like as well when you run in the back of the field instead of the front of the field, there's not really a lot of pressure.
There's no stress. So yeah, he was only throwing up when he was winning or in chance of winning. I think during COVID, when they took that break, he said he drank a lot of off-brand beer or the strong beer that ain't actually.
He got pretty big. He
said they think it put a hole in his stomach, and that was causing issues. And like during the offseason, he thought about having surgery to repair it. So maybe he did. It was probably like not even. It was probably an in and out thing. I'm sure they done it with lasers and shit. They didn't even make a cut.
So yeah, that was a fun weekend of racing. Let's talk about our CFRL race. This guy, Wessel, on the bottom right, wins again on fuel mileage. What are our thoughts, fellas? Matt's laughing. Wessel, you have anything to say? You won the race.
Oh yeah, it was. I thought we were just gonna go in the same order that we've been doing. Well, Sal wasn't even there for the race, but he wouldn't fucking know. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's my first multi-win season in the Cup Series. It's a little fluky that they both come on fuel mileage in back-to-back weeks, but win's a win. I'll take it.
And Tegan, you got second, also on fuel mileage again. How did you feel?
I mean, I feel good when I'm doing it and I can make it, but then I feel like shit when fucking Wessel decides he's going to fucking jump on my bandwagon. That's 2 races I could have won, and this motherfucker's like, no, sir. I'm going to steal them.
And I don't need
the wins. I want them, but.
It happened at the same part, both races. Second to last pit stop, I realized, I know what Tegan's doing. I'm going to do that. I do that back-to-back weeks at the second to last pit stop both times.
What the hell is this? You had to wait. I already made an announcement. Oh, sorry.
Last minute discussions. Sorry.
Sorry, I forgot the rest.
Told you, Mike, I was cooking.
I'm not done.
I ain't either, bitch.
Okay. I'm not done.
Oh, by the way, welcome to the team, David Wessel.
Thank you. Hell yeah!
Now I gotta make another post.
That's the best part. We wasted Mike's time.
I'm just gonna fucking
what
this one.
You know what's funny? I indirectly, because of what Mike fucking said, I about gave it away without even thinking about it because I didn't.
You think I didn't know? I called these two motherfuckers out days ago.
Me and
I had no
Keegan did
clue what was going
some fuck
on.
shit, right? So
Yeah, I had Ron confused up until a couple days ago.
When me and Tegan, when we ironed this out and made it like it was a deal, we decided that we would just go to the most recent post. I think it ended up being Spencer in Discord, and we just both put the 41 emoji on it. And then Mike texts both of us is like, "You motherfuckers ain't slick," or some shit like that.
I don't know. I think Mike was kind of thinking, I guess it's happening. When he said that announcement was kind of like ass, I'm like, bitch, please.
But welcome to SHR Wessel.
Thank you. It's been fun driving for Hendrick the last few years. Not getting as much time aside racing that I've wanted to. But I would like to thank Bradley for the opportunity to get me back into the Cup Series after failing another full-time season when I was running in the 95. But I'd like to thank Bradley and Mr. Vice Mustache Michael Whitman.
Vice Mustache.
Mustache.
I like that actually.
But
Vice Mustache.
No, I think
it's cooking.
It's back.
But no, it was great working with you guys. And I'm sure we'll still find each other on the track. And but no, yeah, it's the opportunity to work with the GOAT in CFRL. I mean, it's hard to pass up.
We all know it. I mean, it's not a surprise. Like we know Tegan's the GOAT, and I knew that you guys were doing this. I've known for weeks that this was happening, and Tegan's been trying to play coy with me.
It's playing coy. I love the coy jokes.
I didn't even think about what I said over when I said may as well just give him the 14 car because I was driving the Stewart 14 Office Depot car without.
Well, Tegan had told me that Ryan said he'd give up the 14 for anybody that wants it, and Ryan goes, "Might as well drive the 14," and I'm like, "Are you trying to say something?"
So Ron kind of played with your head without even fucking trying. That is totally a Ron fucking move. He's just out here saying shit. He's just saying Ron shit, and Mike's going, "Wait, what?"
It's like, is Ryan getting kicked off now? Is Ryan moving to the 41? No, I'm staying in the 14.
Well, I'm not. We're not done yet. We have another announcement that we'd like to make, but not yet. But trust me, it's a big one.
I wonder, is it someone in the Discord already?
Ain't gonna tell you.
Well,
no, maybe I will. It's not somebody in the Discord right now.
I was gonna think if he was gonna bring the Dust Boys back.
I'd love the Dust Boys back, but I don't think Katie will commit. But
that was the only reason why I said. That's the only reason why I was thinking that.
No, it's big. Not on the Discord.
Okay,
it's big.
It's big.
It's big. Anyway, let's do picks. Matt hasn't been on, so he hasn't picked in weeks.
Matt, you have forfeited your right to compete for this.
I really have no chance of winning. What are this?
Well, it's not even that. It's just that you have
you have
saved 4 drivers. You have 4 drivers more available.
Well, the thing is it doesn't really make that much of a difference because he also basically forfeited.
Wait, I'm still only 1 point back of the lead.
Oh,
you're not in this
hell
race.
am I doing? Okay, good. Tegan wins, gets points for the winner. So it's actually tightened up quite a bit.
I'm back.
Rally and I
I'm back in.
board at 6.
I am
Then Matt
re-entering
at
myself
5.
into this.
Wessel, Tegan, JB at 4, and Sally bottom of the barrel in 3rd. The AJ Allmendinger pick was interesting. What went into that one, Sal?
He was the hottest thing in NASCAR. He was on the front of NASCAR.com.
That's true. That did happen.
Was it for a good reason though, or was it for the bonehead move by colleague
No.
to have him in fucking Road America instead of qualifying and practicing his car in Richmond?
I thought they knew something. I was like, they're not worried. They're gonna bring him a hot car.
Anyways, you're picking first, Sal. Who would you like to pick for Michigan?
Who do I have
Let's take a look here.
now?
Here's who you got. You got a couple good names here for Michigan, I think.
Give
You do.
me.
I see one already.
Yeah,
Kevin
I do too.
Harvick.
Yep, that's it.
Sal picks Kevin Harvick, last year's winners, won 5 out of the last 7 Michigan races, which isn't talked about as much as it should be. Kevin Harvick
Wasn't last year either.
What's that? Yeah.
So it wasn't talked about last year either.
Very, very true. Then next up will be Bradley, who had Ross Chastain, who really performed poorly. And he's going to pick Ty Gibbs. I think it's a good pick. Ty Gibbs getting hot at the right time. Then next after him will be, I think, JB. I don't have a pick from him yet. So we will wait on JB's pick until later. Maybe he'll send it. Anyway, so the next would be
Me.
would it be
Me.
you or be me?
Joey was 4th. Brad was
What the
5th or
hell?
6th.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize Joey did that well at the end.
He had a fucking
he was
The
3
restart.
wide for like
on
that.
restart. Yeah.
So you're up, Wessel. Who do you want?
Who do I have available?
Let me just X out Keselowski.
Give me Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace, another big hitter off the board. Not many races left here, and my names are becoming more and more limited. I picked Logano, and I think I picked. Did I pick Bubba? Didn't I? Yeah. So I'm gonna get those out of there. I am gonna go with William Byron.
Willie B.
Next up will be the winner from last week, Tegan. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go with. Go look at my sheet real quick. I have a pick, but I had 2. I think one of them got took. Scroll down a little bit. Keep going. Fuck. I'm gonna take Reddick.
Like
No. Give me Reddick. Give me Joey. I'm gonna say Reddick.
Tegan goes to Joey Logano. Maddie back in the saddle. Who you got?
It is kind of cheap because I do have 4 more picks, but I wouldn't have used Brad in any of those 4 races, so I'm using Brad.
Okay.
Mr. Keselowski.
Your last pick was Bowman, right? Yeah, let me just get rid of that. So Maddie's going with Brad Keselowski. All right. So yeah, those are our picks. We're gonna wait on JB's pick. Interesting to see who will win. I think this is a pretty good group. I think all these guys actually have a chance to win, maybe apart from Ty Gibbs. So we shall see. It'll be a fun one at Michigan. Good race last year. Kevin Harvick won it. Do we think that's Kevin Harvick's last win?
No.
No.
Well, it's easy for you to say.
What the fuck?
I'm working on something.
He says easy.
It did not work.
No, it didn't.
I saw it. But yeah,
I think Harvick gets one before the year. I think he gets Phoenix. Whether he's in the championship or not, I want him to win Phoenix. I want him to go out
in style
because I don't think he's come back for Cup. I think he might do Xfinity truck. I don't think he's coming back for Cup Series. Not with these cars.
I think he wins Bristol.
I'd be happy with that because I'm probably getting ready to order me some tickets.
Okay. With your new little boy toy down there?
He ain't going, so.
I don't know. I would love to go, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, Food City's gone for $60. That's $30 cheaper than the cheapest.
Bro, there's not a Food City around me.
I'm surprised because we're both in Georgia.
Go find one.
I do not have a Food City near me anywhere.
He does have a Kroger's though.
No food. Let's talk a little bit more about the silly season. Do we think Andretti is going to get into NASCAR? Do we think that has any traction to it?
I think it's too late in the season for that to happen for next year.
I'm talking about okay. So yeah, I get that.
Not this season.
Do we think SVG gets something?
He's looking.
Well, I think it's already come out and he said it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's got the switch. Now it's just a matter of which team. I think Trackhouse just gets a third charter and says fuck it.
From what he said,
I don't think they get a third charter. I don't think whoever gets him gets a charter unless he takes somebody's drive.
And colleague maybe since Haley's leaving.
I think that's an Xfinity driver.
Yeah.
I think they've come out and said that he has multiple offers.
From whom is the question?
Oh, you think
maybe
Burton moves off the 21?
No,
because
don't see anybody else in Ford really to take that.
I don't think that 21 would really be a good fit for him either.
Do you think Red Bull follows him? Because I know he's.
I don't see it.
Because
I don't see that happening. I would love for Red Bull to come back into NASCAR.
But I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
he drove for Red Bull V8 Supercar team. And I don't know if there's going to be bad blood with him. Just like, I went and won a NASCAR race in my first start. Fuck y'all, I'm going over there, type of thing.
Well,
is there going to be bad blood from that or what? I don't know.
Think about this too. When Red Bull went into NASCAR, they had to junk their Cup program because of the manufacturer they were running. So Red Bull had issues.
Toyota had a fucking horrid start for their first 3 years in the NASCAR.
Well, not only that, but with
that.
F1,
maybe the first year for sure.
Yeah, because they had MWR and Red Bull then, and that really wasn't good.
I'm not saying because the manufacturer start was horrid. I'm saying because of who they picked as their manufacturer ended up screwing them in the Cup Series because who they were with in F1 said, no, we don't want you guys with Toyota, and they just decided to stick with F1 since that was their bigger strength.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at them as a bad run in NASCAR, though. You had Brian Vickers get a win at Michigan in 2009 and make the playoffs that year. You had Casey Kane win at Phoenix in 2011. So they had a solid run in NASCAR. Kind of, I guess, probably didn't achieve the expectation that they were maybe looking for. But at the same time, Red Bull wasn't the powerhouse F1 team that they are today and were in the following years after the NASCAR team ended. Just because Sebastian Vettel's first championship was 2010. They were
getting there, but I just think, like I said, who they were partnered with the engine program and everything like that in F1 cost them pretty much their whole NASCAR program because they said, no, we don't want you working with Toyota.
Yeah.
And which is kind of odd if you look at it because look at Penske and look at when Ganassi was there. They ran completely different manufacturers. Yeah. I think Ganassi was Chevy in the Cup Series, but on Honda in the IndyCar. And then Penske, Ford, Dodge and Ford at points with in the Cup Series, and then they were F1, Chevy in IndyCar.
Penske, Penske's known for their Formula One team, Ryan.
They won actually an F1 race.
IndyCar is all I know.
No, they won an F1 race. Penske did way back in like the 60s or 70s.
I don't believe that bullshit one bit because I'm not gonna.
I'm being so serious right now.
Yeah, when you say you're being so serious, I can't believe you.
Okay, look it up then, fucker. Serious.
That's something I would say. What back in the 70s?
No, I'm pretty sure he's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was in Canada. Because they have a random
right.
dialogue.
Back when they didn't have rules.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one.
I'm glad I didn't get that question during our little trivia.
They had 0 wins.
They did something.
They debuted in Canada.
Debuted.
That's what I'm talking about.
But they didn't
gaslighting your ass right now.
He's
a gaslighter.
Don't fuck with me, Whitman. I know what I'm talking about.
For my F1 fans in here, Red Bull.
Gives you wins.
They partnering with for the new engine regulations in 2026?
Audi, right?
No.
Honda. Are they going back to Honda?
They are gonna co-make the powertrains with Ford.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's right.
Ford's
Do we see SVG come to NASCAR with Red Bull sponsorship in a Ford?
I think you're forgetting that the 10 car may be coming up.
That is exactly what I.
Almirola has got to come up with a decision 30 to 60 days.
What Eric Almirola is going to do is shockingly, is one of the biggest talking points in NASCAR right now.
If he retires, SVG
I think he has to.
10, SVG to the 10 car heats up very, very fast, I think.
I would not be surprised at all.
Because, like you said, now that you met.
And Haas already has a tied F1 too, right?
And
they have Haas.
Yes. But that's not totally as connected as.
That's just pretty much that's Gene Haas. That's Gene.
That makes me actually that reminding me makes me think Red Bull would be less likely to sponsor that team.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, think about this.
So maybe Red Bull don't get back into the ownership of thing, but maybe they just come into a top level sponsorship deal like Buescher was with Harvick.
That's what I thought they were going to do and not own again.
I think it would be a good move for Stuart Haas, though, because think about it. They're losing their 2 biggest sponsors on that team, Smithfield and Anheuser-Busch. If you can try to Red Bull,
you don't know if Smithfield's totally gone.
I think Smithfield.
I feel like they'll be gone with Almirola.
They're going to go to Zane Smith or something.
But think about
that. That young guy.
Only if Zane Smith comes to the 10 car. I feel like if Smithfield would stay with a 10 car, they would go after Zane Smith. If it was tied to Zane.
Here's one thing though. I think Gene Haas has some problems with energy drinks. If you don't remember back
Rich
Energy or Lightning Bolt Limited or whatever they were called.
Well, I mean, hell, that sounds like no names to me. Of course you're gonna have trouble with them. They probably went bankrupt and owed them money. Red Bull is not going bankrupt.
And they bashed. No, if you look at their Twitter when they sponsored Haas F1, Rich Energy bashed Vig out of fucking Haas and everybody like that. They bashed them for their performances.
So
complete.
That'll be interesting to see. If Almirola retires, who do we think is the number 1 guy to go to the 10 next year?
Either Zane Smith or SVG.
Yeah.
Michael McDowell could also be
I just don't think Michael McDowell's long term though.
I think McDowell is pretty.
I think you got to go for somebody that's long term.
Do you think that's a downgrade for McDowell though?
Almirola and McDowell? I don't think so.
No. For
I don't think it's an improve either.
I think for Stuart Haas it's an upgrade, but for Michael McDowell, is that a downgrade?
Really good point.
Because he has performed very well.
He'll be below Barry, Priest, and even Briscoe when it comes to the pecking order.
Where he will be, aren't they going to a 1-car team soon? Or they're thinking about it, or at least?
There's been talks about it for years, but I think that's morally kind of fizzled out.
Okay.
They've got 2
cars actually close to selling before 2022, I think.
Yeah.
Or 2021. They were close.
I think it
pops up every year. I feel like that rumor does.
But I feel
they
like
probably started.
With their increase in competitiveness.
You know what they're doing? They leak that out because they want to value their assets. So that
exactly. This if it goes up this year, boys. $50 million for both charters.
Let's assess this thing real quick.
We talked about charters, and I was listening to Eric Estep's little thing with Brennan Poole, and Eric Estep said $30 million, and Brennan Poole said, "I would assume that they're actually going to be higher than that now."
They're only gonna keep going up.
And that's why NASCAR can't just get rid of them.
Brennan Poole.
No, they do bring value, but if you let it get too high, then you're not going to be able to sell them. Yeah. You're stuck with them.
Like
then they're going to start coming down
already. Like because of it going
up. And think about it. No, think about it. If Dale Earnhardt Jr. is saying they're just too damn high for me, they're too damn high.
Dale Jr. is also not one of these. He's wealthy, but like I think that NASCAR's ultimate goal for this, and I think the team's goal, is to make it like a regular sports league. These charters are franchises. You just saw the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, but you're comparing it to a whole different sport. Let's just get real here. NASCAR's never going to get on that level. These are not going to sell for $100 million unless somebody's just fucking got money going out their ass.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they're trying to adopt a system like every other sports league has. The MLB, the NHL, the NFL, NBA, MLS. They all have teams that are valued at a certain price because they have access to a league and they are a team in the league. And that's worth a certain price. And I think that that's a good thing for NASCAR to make it so that if you decide I want to pick up and leave, you'll have somebody. And I think that if there's a charter that's going to be available, somebody's going to snatch it up pretty quickly, whether it's Michael Jordan or it's Justin Marks right now. I think that if a charter comes up for sale, it's getting taken quickly. That's my opinion.
If that's the case, I agree. But I just don't think – I think if they get too high, they're not going to sell.
No.
Michael Jordan, it took him years to commit to this. You think he's going to commit to a charter that's going to cost him $50 million for one charter when a year ago it only cost him $20? For a business model that's apparently making them lose money, by the way, if NASCAR doesn't redo the agreement, which is 2 years away, by the way. We still got a whole other season under this current deal.
That makes
me like something. He did sell Charlotte.
You're out, Matt?
I'm exiting stage.
Have fun at work tonight, Matt. Thank you for joining us. Two dudes was great.
That hammer.
All right. I'm not going to say what I was doing. All right. Yeah, sure. All right. Sounds good.
Thank you to Matt for coming on. Your TV agreement made me think of a conversation that something we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We'll wrap up here.
And I'm here for it.
Series broadcasted starting in 2025 exclusively on the CW.
Fucking nobody saw that come. Like CW,
no.
Like people on Twitter were like, "What the fuck's the CW?" It is literally an actual local channel that 100% of American households get, even if you just have an antenna. I think that's a good move on NASCAR and CW. And on the flip side of that, NASCAR is actually going to take the blunt of the production. So
CW will hire the on-air.
Yeah, which if they don't hire Alan Bestwick. Which I think Alan Bestwick is a waste of talent for Xfinity races, but maybe it leads to him moving up.
Dare I say it? I think he's a waste of talent for SRX.
I do too. I agree.
Yeah.
He needs to be in the Cup Series.
I'm hoping whatever streaming deal we get.
The SRX Series and watching Paul Tracy just absolutely tear people up every Thursday. But I mean, Alan Bestwick is the best outside of the Formula 1.
He was good on radio and TV.
I think outside of the Formula 1 guys, he's the best commentator in motorsports.
Yeah, the Formula 1 guys could make taking a spoonful of
I took Mike Joy up there till he started getting old. Sorry.
But yeah, Mike Joy this year.
Mike Joy is selling off the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's the addition of Boyer being just.
I don't think it is. I think it's just age. He actually fucks up a lot of the names and shit.
He's like
I think
falling down the Darrell Waltrip hole.
Oh, Darrell Waltrip wasn't even that bad. Everybody gave Darrell Waltrip shit, but let's be honest. I like Darrell. He wasn't that bad. He didn't fuck up on the names. He was just goofy.
Darrell actually did really well in the SRX race he did a couple weeks ago.
And Bestwick was.
I'm afraid with CW, we're gonna get a woman commentator that ain't worth a fuck. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
That's what I was going to say.
Chris Bottom probably won't be too bad, to be honest. I think she'd do a better job than.
I think Jamie Little's a great pit reporter, but is she rough?
Yeah. I'm afraid that's who we may get, is actually her.
You know who has.
Think about it. Exclusive to CW for the broadcast, and she still do the pit reporting.
Now, this is not anything for broadcasting, but a pit reporter who had a huge W last week with Kyle Larson. I think
Kimmy.
Yeah, Kimmy Kuhn. Kim Kuhn, not Kimmy.
Yeah, I want to go another step further. I think there's another reporter that's doing really good on the broadcasting side, and that is Matt Yoakum.
Yeah.
For the Xfinity race, he does. I think they're building him up to move up. So maybe he does. Maybe he moves to CDW for broadcasting.
Which is odd considering that Matt Yoakum was a pit reporter in the Cup Series for 20 years, and now we're building him back up to be one. I think he deserves it 100%. I'm
talking about broadcasting, not pit reporter. I'm just talking about broadcasting,
I don't think
not just pit reporter. I think he's a good broadcaster for Xfinity. I think he could be a CDW leading candidate.
Commentate.
I think he did it a lot when NBC had it years ago with Fox, and they did a lot of the races away from the Cup schedule like they did this weekend. It was usually him and Wally. It was just a two-person team that would do the long events.
Can the CW please hire Wally?
That would be another good one.
I love Wally Dallenbach. I think he was great.
He's somebody else that would tell you like it is.
Definitely. And I feel like with him having like road racing experience, he would oddly understand this car more than a lot of other people.
For Xfinity, especially. I can't say too much with Cup because I feel like Cup car that we have now is way different. You got to have people that's driven it. And the only one you got right now that's going to be in the broadcast booth next year is Harvick. And Dale Jr. has tested it. Clint Boyer has tested it when they were doing the tests and shit. But it's different. When you got to run 2 seasons under your belt, under that car, you know a whole lot more.
I think Harvick's going to be great. I just hope Clint gets better because Clint is not great, honestly.
I do think Mike Joy's last year is next year.
Yeah, I tweeted this out, or I don't know if I tweeted it or told you.
I'd like to see Kevin Harvick get in there and kind of take that booth over.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They did train him for it.
Yeah. What I think is, Dale Jr. brings the energy that everybody thought Clint Boyer would. I don't think people expected Dale Jr. to be as awesome as he is at it. And I think people expected Clint to be better than he is.
Yeah.
Well, because he's such an like that guy, just watching him like in whether it was in the infield or his interviews or just
running after Jeff Gordon
in race stuff or like that guy was such a character. And it's just a guy that's
I still think he is.
I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, that's how Clint Boyer is. But sometimes, like, I guess for him, it just doesn't really work on camera when you're trying to be.
Okay, I'm gonna give Clint Boyer some. So I know you sound like you're saying he's not exciting as sounding as Dale Jr. I think Mike Joy has a lot to do with it. I think Mike Joy has probably told him after races, if you don't start shutting the fuck up, I'm gonna pull my seniority card on your ass and have you out of here. That's what I feel like is happening. I don't think Mike Joy can take another DW-ish character in his twilight years at Fox Sports.
No. I might not even be able to watch Fox races next year.
Why is that?
DirecTV and Fox are playing pissy fits right now with each other.
Oh, that'll be fixed. That'll be fixed.
Oh, it's actually been a while, though.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's actually been like a whole month almost now.
I've had them when I've had DirecTV and Dish 2 or 3 months with NBC. So, and they sound like it's your local station. It's not Fox. It's your actual local station that actually negotiates that shit like that. So, like, you probably still have Fox Sports, right?
I have Fox Sports still, but I won't be able to watch like the Fox race. If Fox, like, if my local station like had it,
carries it,
to watch it. Yeah.
I also noticed today, and it's funny, I deleted the app. The Fox Superbet app. I got an email today saying today is the last day. Like if you got a month to draw whatever money you've won. So they must have really took Clint Boyer's money and he's like, fuck it, I'm not doing it no more. I literally deleted the app 2 days ago because I won't go to use it no more till next year. But I don't know if they're doing something different next year. Maybe they're partnering with another app or something. But it's not like they're making cuts. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, well, they also taking Terry Bradshaw's money.
Sure. Which is not either their real money, but
no, that's fine.
It's making Fox likes making it silly and being like, "Oh, you can have Kurt Menefee's anchor gift Something like that. Who knows? But anyway, thank you for everybody for tuning in. Nice to have Matt back. The music is going to carry us home. Have a great week, everybody watching. We'll be back after Michigan. Paul Tracy got suspended for the SRX. Ken Schrader is a serial killer. Have a good week, everybody.